some of these artists are these are the biggest artists in the world.
Yeah,
BTS is the biggest group in the world right now.
Coming up this August 28th, if you know anything about the VMAs, Michael Jackson attended, won VMAs. That's the Spaceman, right? It's the VMAs. Video Music Awards, one of the biggest award shows in music.
Yeah.
And they are, a remnant of what MTV used to be when they got started. Music video television for those, or music television for those that don't know what MTV actually stands for. It is getting virtual, adding a new award category this year entitled Best Metaverse Performance. And that's due to a growing number of headlining artists that have been staging interactive concerts and video games. So this year at the 2022 MTV VMAs, this will be the first show in the company's history to feature this category. The 6 nominees who have all done virtual concerts in the last year are Ariana Grande, Blackpink, BTS, Charlie XCX, Justin Bieber, and 21 Pilots. Some folks who may write this off as a fad, the popularity of virtual concerts by the numbers is undeniable. The aforementioned Travis Scott saw his Fortnite concert with 12.3 million player attendees on the Fortnite platform. That was for his Travis Scott's astronomical tour. And the YouTube recording of the concert had over 190 million views.
I gotta watch it.
Yeah, now I kind of want to see because I'm like, wow, that's
190 million views.
Yeah.
I want to be the 190 and
I want to get them. Right. Now this won't replace the value of an in-person concert, but virtual concerts have and will continue to grow in popularity, capability, and creativity, especially with what we've all been through globally over the past 2.5 years. Yeah. And according to Matthew Ball, author of The Metaverse, he says that eventually you'll see the two blend into something all new together.
Yeah, that last statement is exactly what I was thinking. We talked about this earlier when we were discussing the movie industry and how I don't think the movie industry is just going to go away because, you can make movies and self-distributed with NFTs.
Just like videos didn't go away.
Yeah. So, yes. So I definitely think that, going to in-person concerts will still have its value. I think the industry will figure out a way to hybrid the two together. Maybe making special packages for people, and you can even tokenize your tickets, and then you can come in and get special event. You can, maybe they'll have special metaverse area set up, and you can put on like headsets or whatever the case may be and watch it in there if you don't want to even be with the what happened at Astroworld.
Right.
Like I wouldn't mind having a special tent set up and like a movie theater type of setup, and you could put on a visor and enjoy the concert in the metaverse or something like that. And it could be still in around in a public venue, so you can, when you want to come out, you can still engage with different fans. You can go to different places, different setups, maybe even have different pods, right? Like if it's a concert and you can have different performances going on while a live performance. Let's say if it's like a Lollapalooza or something like that, right? You have one artist up there, but maybe you can have other smaller acts, and you'd be like, well, I'm not into rock and roll, but a smaller artist is performing, so I want to go in this tent and watch the smaller artists in the metaverse or something like that, right? So you could do a lot of creative different things, but
it could change the festival experience too,
exactly,
as a whole, like you said, with Lollapalooza, Coachella.
But specifically with this, I think once again, right, it's like CAA. It's just giving more validity to Web3, right? And it's just giving. Some of these artists are these are the biggest artists in the world.
Yeah,
BTS is the biggest group in the world right now.
And they support Black Lives Matter.
Right? Blackpink is the biggest female group in the world right now. Ariana Grande,
Justin Bieber.
Don't have to say. You know what it is. Charlie XCX. I really don't know.
I read more about her because of actually looking into the story. I believe she's a British artist.
I know the name.
Yeah,
but I don't know the music. And same thing with 21 Pilots. I know the name and not the music. Right. But the fact that these are the biggest artists in the world, these aren't like up and coming artists. This isn't new artists, which, give you a lot of praise for getting nominated as best new artist. These are the biggest artists in the world who are doing Web3, Metaverse, virtual stuff. You can't say enough to how big this is. Once again, tie it into podcasting real quick. I know this is a callback. If you're not that social and you're not extrovert, because I'm somewhat of an introvert, podcasting is a really great way to kind of, one, get over it, and two, if you just can't get over it, you can still get your voice out there without feeling the anxiety or angst to be in front of somebody.
Right.
So another reason why I like podcasting. But back to this.
Which a lot of us are struggling with too, coming out of the pandemic.
Yeah.
It's a shock to your system to be indoors and go out, even for a short period of time. If you're sick and then you go back out into the world after you've gotten sick, like just a regular cold, pre-COVID ever actually happening, that was a shock to your system. It's the same thing, when you're coming out of basically a 2-year quarantine.
Yeah. Well, that's what also makes this kind of dope with the virtual world, right? Like, think about it. You can go to a concert, and if you have a fear of crowds, or if you have discomfort, or, like, you can still attend. You can still enjoy it without being there. Your avatar is your representation of yourself. So I think this can open up a lot of doors for concerts and a lot of opportunities for people, like humans. Like, it's funny, people think that this is going to take away from the human element because you're not going in person, but I think it could add to the human element because it can give advantages to people who aren't comfortable going out there, who aren't comfortable doing things. Like, you're not the biggest fan of crowds.
No.
Right? Like, so now, like, and I've never been to a concert. I just have no interest in actually being around a lot of people like that. I'm a bigger guy, and I don't like being hot and sweaty,
On your feet.
On my feet. I hate being on my feet. If you know me, I cannot be on my feet more than like an hour. After an hour, I'm like in tears. Like,
Which is why set life is not for real.
Yeah, no. So now I can attend a concert without having to worry about that, and you can attend a concert and not having to worry about the discomfort of being around a lot of people. So I think that this is a great thing that MTV is acknowledging.
Yes.
That the significance of this, obviously, the numbers just. I'm not sitting here saying that MTV is being forward thinking. Just the numbers. You can't deny.
Right. 12.3 million Fortnite players, attending your concert is very impressive.
Absolutely.
So, and honestly, I learned that, and this is so awful to take this turn because we're almost at the end of the podcast, but, the little boy that passed at his Astro World, fell off his father's shoulders, he learned Travis Scott's music through Fortnite.
Oh, wow.
So, see, he was a convert through,
yeah, it's a good way to soft intro or to reach new fans and stuff like that. Yeah, this is a good way when you can do cross promotion with other avenues, and you can get all types of fans that may never have been your fans before.
Yeah.
So I think this is just is a great acknowledgement. It's not going to change the world.
No.
But it's a great acknowledgement.
But it's a start.
Yeah, yep.
And
we're
becoming a global society, and that's something we have to acknowledge. I mean, like you said, BTS is the biggest group in the world. So is Blackpink. They're not American groups.
Yeah.
So I think that is actually what we have to realize is that it's just the exposure to different cultures. And I think that's good too. It tamps down our ignorance and it allows us to learn more about people in different places and different cultures and backgrounds and ethnicities by opening the world this way.
Because this will, sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, that's okay.
This will also help because this made me think about what you were talking about earlier. For those people who are still down in Web3 and what's going to happen in the virtual world, who need the validation from a reputable company or old corporation, more of this what happens, and then all of a sudden they be like, I'm curious about this NFTs and Web3 stuff. It's like, but I've been talking about it for like a year and a half, and you was not trying to hear me, but now you want to hear me? All right, whatever.
Like an award now going out, people are gonna be like, oh, wait a minute.
Let me look this up.
Let me go on Fortnite.
But let's dissect something real quick. Because the VMAs is doing this, right? Means that we read off the nominees who are Ariana Grande, Blackpink, BTS, Charlie XCX, Justin Bieber, 21 Pilots, right? So now what is going to happen, our listeners are going to now know who, because they did a concert in virtual and we're talking about it, now people are hearing the name Blackpink and BTS in America who typically may not know who they are. So they may even look them up and now they have new fans. I'm going to look them up, like listen to some of their music a little bit more because we're talking about it.
I've seen a couple of their performances.
Right?
Actually.
Like, so now, just because I didn't even see their virtual, but because they've done it and they're being awarded for it and we're discussing it, now I'm exposed to them.
Yes.
So that's what I'm talking about, like more exposure. The more that you do and the more creative, the more that you venture into new technologies is going to be the more exposure you're going to get. So think about that when you're building your brand. Think about that when you're trying and you're becoming an early adapter to technology.